We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome everybody to our meeting of Monday, March 22nd. I will call the meeting to order. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Seeing none, I have a motion to accept the agenda. Motion is moved by, just Jacques is saying his Zoom is not working. So motion moved by Deputy Mayor Williams, seconded by, I'll have to change that, not from Councillor Massey to Councillor Manley. That the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda of the regular meeting of Council on Monday, March 22nd, 2021. Is there any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, moving on to the adoption of the previous minutes. Again, Councillor Massey's on there, of course. So I'll change it. Councillor Wensink. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wensink, seconded by Councillor Noble, that the minutes of the following meetings be adopted as circulated. Regular meeting of Council, March 8th, 2021. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? The motion is carried. There are none opposed. Okay, moving on to staff reports, Community Services Department, extension of temporary user fee. I have a motion moved by Councillor Noble, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives the staff report number CS 2021-08, and that Council approves the extension of the temporary drop-in rate of $5 per person to a maximum of $40, HST included, for the rental hour for the turf at the Tim Hortons Dome and the cement slab at the Maxwell District Sports Complex until August 31st, 2021. Welcome in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Back in November, Council approved a revised temporary fee for the Maxwell and District Sports Complex cement slab, as well as for the turf area at the Dome. And that was to encourage additional rentals. As we know, we haven't been able to entertain the Glengarry Soccer League at that facility over the winter. So the uptake has been slow, especially at the Dome. We are proposing as staff to extend this temporary fee structure until the end of August 2021, again, to encourage the use of these facilities.
Okay, Councillor Wensink.
Just a question, the $40 maximum you're referring to, is that per month, or are you saying $40 right up until the end of August? It's not clear.
So it's per hour of rental. So if, let's say a family wanted to come into the Dome and use the turf surface, if it's free, they can go and book that surface for 40 hours, HST included.
But when you're saying $5 per visit, that's what I'm not understanding.
So when they're on the turf, say eight kids showed up, it's $5 each, it's $40. If 10 kids showed up, it's still $40. That's the maximum. It's $5 per kid, but a maximum of 40.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, any further questions? Councillor Manley.
Just wondering, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wondering about the usage at the Maxwell Sports Complex. Any update on that end at all, or what we're seeing?
So actually, we haven't brought a count, and we will be doing that at the Committee of the Whole, but we've had great uptake. So it's gone back to pre-COVID lockdown closures. But definitely we'll be happy to bring those statistics at the next Committee of the Whole.
Perfect, thank you.
Just a question, Ann. In the report, it talks about that it's $111 an hour and then the $40 an hour. Is it $40 an hour for everybody?
So initially we had thought that it was only for drop-in, but then we were asked to extend that to all of the users. And as mentioned, it's for the turf. There's really not a lot of uptake on the turf right now.
Yeah, no, okay, no, that's good. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those.
Wait, sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Councillor Wensink.
It's because when people do drop in to walk and they pay per visit, so what is their rate for someone that might want to just walk on the surface? There seems to still be some confusion about that rate.
So I would just like to remind people that we were harmonizing the rate over in Maxville to be identical to the one at the Dome. At the Dome, anyone who wants to walk still pays $7 if they do it as a drop-in. We encourage people to buy a monthly pass or to purchase a yearly pass because it is so much less expensive. Unfortunately, in Maxville, the way that it is set up right now, given that there is and the play area, if someone wants to book the whole cement slab, people can't walk at that time. So, which is a little bit different from the Dome.
Yeah. And I think that's, you know, as long as there's signage so people know, because, you know, and the weather's getting nicer too, people can walk outside, but it's a nice option when the weather isn't cooperating. And certainly any usage of the Maxville complex would be very welcomed.
Okay. Wait, did I just lose everybody? Oh, hold on. I can't see you. There we go. Okay, so any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to Public Works Department 2020 Waterworks Annual and Summary Report. I have a motion moved by Councillor Manley, seconded by Councillor Madden, that Council receive staff report number PW 2021-01, 2020 Waterworks Annual and Summary Report for information purposes only. Welcome, Angela.
Good morning, or good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to share my screen. So can everyone see that? Yes. Okay. So this is basically set up the same as the Glen Robertson drinking water system update. So this is the update for the 2020 for the Alexandria drinking water system. We will go through a system description, flow summary, sample summary, operational issues or significant costs, ministry compliance, and then additional information. So this is the system. So I'm just gonna see if I can. So we are a large residential drinking water system. We have a surface water intake which has a higher potential for microbiological contamination, higher potential for effects from blue-green algae as well. We service approximately 1,950 residences. That's including Alexandria and Maxville. The rated flow capacity for the water treatment plant is just over 8,000 cubic meters per day or 65 liters per second. And the system was expanded between 2018 to 2020 to include the Maxville distribution. As we all know, the distribution was put into place in January 2020. So for anyone that hasn't seen it, these are the new updates on the water treatment plant on the bottom picture. The treatment system. So we have screening for large debris only. We have chemical addition for coagulation, flocculation, and then sedimentation, followed by filtration, chlorine gas, disinfection, phosphate addition. Chloramination is where we add the ammonia to extend the chlorine residual in the distribution. In the distribution, we have rechloramination at the booster station on the way to Maxville, and then the Maxville distribution. We have 4 emergency generators throughout the system at pivotal points. So at the water plant, at both water towers, and at the booster station. Our flow summary for 2020. So we made 668,000 cubic meters, which was about 32.5% of our allowance to take water. So that's the raw water intake. The water put out into the distribution was just over 600,000. Our daily treated flow was 1652, which is about 20% of our rated capacity. And the maximum reported day was just over, or just under 3,000 cubic meters. Sampling summary. So operationally, we only had 1 adverse residual in the distribution, which happened for distribution pressure. And this was part of a water main relining. So that was for operational monitoring. For weekly sampling, we had 6 adverse sampling results in June in Maxville. This boil water advisory only affected the village of Maxville. Quarterly sampling, there were no issues, and annual sampling, there was no issues. So the boil water advisory lasted from June 17th to June 28th. Operational issues. So this is only throughout 2020. So the Maxville Water Project descriptions and prices are not the overall project costs. It's just the money spent in 2020. So for the distribution, as you can see on the right-hand side, we've got a breakdown of the 5 components and then how much we spent. We had the relining of the water main under Mill Pond, which was in coordination with the county's relining program. And it's to expand the lifespan and ensure the integrity of the water main underneath the Mill Pond to ensure that we don't have any breakage or issues there. We spent just over $4,000 on our hydrant and valve replacement. And then we had our low lift pump refurbishment in December. We had a company come in, do some maintenance work, and then we found that the pump needed to be refurbished. So that was just over $3,000. MOE compliance. So we had 2 inspections throughout 2020. Both of our inspections resulted in 100% of the inspection rating. So there was no issues or best practices noted during either inspection in January or in September. And other issues. So system operations were not substantially affected by COVID. Personnel coverage was maintained at all times. Staff rotation at various points throughout 2020. Maintaining quantity of water production distribution throughout the capital upgrades. We were still in the midst of the water connections throughout Maxville. The internal DWQMS meetings have been delayed. We are trying to get those back on track. And our 2021 goals would be the water main rehabilitation on La Hill Street, billing and metering software upgrade, which is required because the company has changed their software, and then update to all operations manuals. And that is it for me.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Just my one comment is that even with Maxville online, not fully online yet, but primarily online, that we're still only at 20.6% of our rated capacity. So that's interesting. Welcome, Councillor Massey.
Yes, so we did run primarily throughout the full year. Obviously, we don't have the whole village connected yet. We probably have about 80%, with the majority coming on around the summer. So I wouldn't expect it to go too much higher. So we should be good. Great.
Any further questions or comments? Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks for your report, Angela. Is this report exclusively meant for council, or is this what you send to, are you sending this to the MOE for the annual?
So what you've received is you get a copy of the PowerPoint, which is what is used to present to council. But the written report that's also included is what will go to the MOE. And then it's also posted to the website for public access.
Okay. I think Karma's frozen. Any other questions or comments? If you have one after, when you get back online, we'll let you ask it. So I have a motion on the table to accept this for information purposes only. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Angela. You're staying on for, okay. Award of tender PW 2021-01 sewer flushing and CCTV inspection. I have a motion moved by Councillor Madden, seconded by Councillor Wensing. The council receives staff report number PW 2021-07, award of tender PW 2021-01 sewer flushing and CCTV inspection, and that council authorized the mayor and CAO clerk to enter into an agreement with Aquadrain Sewer Services, Inc. for the flushing and CCTV inspection of sewers in Alexandria in the amount of $40,476.60, including HST. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. This report is for the award of the 2021 sewer flushing CCTV contract. This work is necessary to identify any blockages or broken pipes within our sewer system. This year we'll be concentrating on the west side of Alexandria. Last year we did the east side, and there's approximately 9,000 meters of sewer line to inspect. We received 4 bids this year, ranging from $3.98 a meter to $5.95 a meter. Last year, the lowest bid came in at $4.20 a meter. So staff is recommending to award the contract to the lowest bidder, Aquadrain Services out of Ottawa, for a total amount of $40,476.60, GST included. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from members of council? Councillor Massey.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dean, is this a company that we have dealt with before, or is that the regular company we use?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. They're a new company to us for this kind of work. We've used them before for sewer laterals. So it'll be the first time we're doing camera work for them. So watch them closely at the start. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? The motion is opposed? Okay. You're opposed, Jacques, or you're in favor? Jacques? Okay, in favor. Okay, motion is carried. There are none.
I'm for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, favor. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to administrative.
Mr. Mayor.
Sure, go ahead. You had a question from
yeah, so I lost my internet there before the last.
Angela to stick around. So, did you have a question from the previous report?
Yeah, did you not? I don't know what you heard. I was kicked out.
Yeah,
did she answer the question or not?
Yeah, she did. It's the report is sent to the MOE and it's posted on our website for the public to look at.
Okay, and so so that's where this is going, and then the MOE will, if there are any compliance issues, then will they come back to council if there are any compliance issues?
I think that's within the report, right?
Yeah. So the report isn't going to generate compliance issues. That comes through our inspection. But if there's any issues, they will email me back and.
Okay, all right. That's what I was curious about because I see that the inspection report didn't pick up the week-long boil advisory that happened last summer.
No, it should have been in there. I'll double check the report, but it should have been in the actual report, the written report. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just seeing that it wasn't highlighted by the inspection. It says 100%.
So we get 100% because we complied with all the rules and regulations. It was reported. We took the actions to remedy it. So yes. We would only lose rating percentage if we didn't actually report it and we didn't actually remedy the situation.
Excellent. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to Administrative Department Strategic Plan Update Q1 2021. I have a motion moved by Councillor Wensing, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams, that Council receives staff report AD 2021-06 for information purposes only. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just wanted to present an update to Council this evening on the strategic plan. So as Council can see in the attachment to my report, and as Angela spoke to this evening, the Maxwell Water project is progressing along very well with the hookups. We will be bringing a report to Council later on about where we are as far as any extensions that have been given due to COVID. So we do encourage Maxwell residents, if they do need an extension, to reach out to Zoe Bougie or Dean, and they can certainly request that extension if need be. I also reported to council late last week that our ECA has been approved for the lagoon. So that will be coming forth to council in the committee of the whole report in April. So that was a big step in the right direction as far as the lagoon project goes. We also will be updating council at the committee of the whole on our roads. So we are doing a roads needs study, and that was part of the strategic plan. So that will be also something that we worked on in the spring. On Thursday, there will be a joint meeting with the county to review the first 2 phases of the study with the waste management. It was the regional project that was started, I believe, last summer. So the first 2 phases. So I do encourage council to attend. I believe that the clerk of the county sent out that invitation today. So certainly if you haven't got it, please reach out to myself or to Kimberly Castleman from the county, and she can send you that invite. And also on the county website, there is the report findings are there. So that'll be presented on Thursday to council. Also all the councils of SDG. And then council can see the other things we've been working on. Certainly the tree canopy bylaw will be brought back. We're just got some information from our lawyers, so we're reviewing that, and that'll be brought back to on a public forum in the next couple of weeks. And I'm certain that Anne has also updated council at her last committee of the whole meeting on the development of the marketing strategy. So Daryl Cox has started with us, and he's been has hit the ground running as far as some of the initiatives that are in that report. And he's been working on some of the Maxwell development. So that is my report. There's also additional information in there. If council has any questions, I would certainly take them.
Just a quick question, just on the tree canopy bylaw. When are we planning to? Council has done their final review of it. When are we getting the final copy for us to review and then going public?
Cash is just not in this week, so hopefully by the beginning of next week we can send that out to council, and then we can go from there. We were hoping for a public forum to do the consultation. So, you know, with the announcement with the increase in cases, it's getting difficult, but we will be getting that out to council and the public soon. So like I said, Cash is just off this week, so hopefully next week we can get that out.
Okay, further questions? Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just looking at the action item that is provide a cost-benefit analysis of the road types for each township road, and looking at it in spring 2021 to be completed by June of 2021. Now, I know that when we went through our budget process, we kind of shelved deciding on which roads were actually going to get some work done on them. Mm-hmm. And by the time June rolls around and we have a report in front of us, it's going to be too late to tender anything. We won't get any roads done. So I think we need to, unless there's a plan I'm not aware of, we need to figure this out.
I think we just did that at the last committee of the whole. I think we're going to have Dean and Mike bring a list forward to council members. We'll have a look at those at the roads that they're recommending, and we'll debate that sooner rather than later so that we can get tendering out on them. And what originally we had talked about maybe doing a road tour to go see those. I think probably best just to try and maybe members of council to go out on their own to each of the roads and look at them themselves. And then we just I think we have a good debate on which roads we think are the ones that should get done first within the budget that we have. Right.
So when do we expect to see that? Because, it's already...
They're working on it.
Okay. Yeah, I spoke to Dean and Michelle last week. We had a meeting to discuss roads and a few other projects. So I know they're putting that together now. And we did review the budget, what's approved, and then what is that bucket of money that's still sitting there. So I know that Dean, they're working on it. So hopefully this week we can get that out to council. And like the mayor suggested, I think the best case scenario is just to give you guys a list, and then you go out and look at the roads and decide if they're the correct ones.
Go ahead. Councilor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm a little bit concerned about the type of covering we're going to put on some of those roads. I mean, I'm looking at roads that we surface treated 2 years ago that have got potholes in it already. It's disgusting. I can't believe that we paid that kind of money for roads, and we've got roads that are in a mess already or whatever. So I think we need to make sure that moving forward that maybe we go to what we did on the 6th last year. If the cost is not going to be that much more, I think we've got it. We have to do that, or something better than surface treatment, because that surface treatment that we did is awful.
I agree. I think it's brutal, and I think that's maybe going to be part of our debate on what we choose for which roads. You know, if we can kind of claw our way through this year, make some good decisions. You know, we're going to have that report, the Roads Need Study report, that should be the Bible that we follow from, you know, for the rest of this term for sure. So I'm hopeful that we can, but yeah, I agree 100%. Those roads, that's a waste of money. I mean, when we used to do surface treatment, it could last 20 years, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And yeah, so through you, Mr. Mayor, that was part of the conversation that Michelle and Dean and I had last week. Councillor Manley was some of that surface treatment was not up to par, and Michelle's certainly aware of that. And that was why we're very clear with the contractor that's going to be putting together road scene study that we want to really have a great look at the roads and make the decision of what type of road it should be, what type of road it is, and what type it should be, and that should be brought to council as far as you know, decisions that should be made go forward. Yeah. So
perfect.
Yeah. Further questions or comments on this? Deputy Mayor, do you have any further on the roads? Did you want to?
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Good. Okay. No other questions on the report? Okay. Seeing none. All those in favor of the report? Motion is carried. Okay. And I think that concludes our business. We have an in-camera session this evening, which we'll be going to right following this meeting. Notice of motion, the next regular meeting of council is Monday, April 12th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. And I think that's it. So thank you everyone for watching us this evening, and thank you to the members of staff for being here this evening. So have a great week, and please, people, as best that we can, let's try and get those numbers down. We went up by 50 cases today, so let's hope that we can all get together and try and get this down right before summertime. So enjoy the great weather, and we'll see you next meeting. Thank you.